Hey siblings, I hope you guys are okay and keeping it safe. Coronavirus is coming for everyone, and if you've lost a loved one because of the virus, I am truly sorry from the bottom of my heart. My heart goes out to you and your family. So please keep it safe. And I am sorry that I had been so inconsistent with uploading the videos. Last week I wasn't feeling okay at all, but I am well now. I was quite sick. I'm happy that I am okay, and I thought maybe I should come here and share something with you. Today I will be talking about the narcissistic personality disorder. Usually a narcissistic is usually used loosely to define someone who has this, who is excessively vain, or somebody who is excessively cocky. Although narcissism has something to do with that, there's nothing wrong when somebody does it in an does those things in a healthy manner. However, a narcissistic is a person who has this idealized version of self-love. They fantasize a lot about their level of self-importance. They like they become too much in they're so insecure that they want other people to believe that they're this bunch of people who are very successful. So they exaggerate their success, they exaggerate their importance in people's lives, they exaggerate their importance in life itself. They just exaggerate everything about themselves, and they want to impose that thing on other people. It's a way, it's a method of control that they have on other people. There are overt and covert narcissistic people. So the overt narcissistic is a person who, these people who like when in public they want their presence to be felt. They always want to be the center of attention. Whenever they are in public, they want people to feel that they are there. And although there's nothing wrong with being confident, when it comes to a narcissistic person, their confidence is like it's over the top. They want to always be looked at. They exaggerate their success. They exaggerate every single thing that they have done. They exaggerate, and they constantly want to be the center of attention, and that's the overt narcissist. The covert narcissist, however, is that the underdog. You know, those underdogs, those people who would be like, oh, I have a medical degree, but it's not a big deal. They say that not because they think it's not a big deal, but because they want you to be the one who says, you studied medicine, wow, that's a big deal. You can't say it's not a big deal. They want to be praised, but they do it in a way that makes you believe that they don't want it. Like, they're very introverted, so they don't show it out there. They know deep down that they want you to praise them, so they say certain things to trigger you to praise them, but they don't say to. They're not like the overt narcissist who will be out there and put themselves out there. They do it in a very polite manner, but the goal is the same with both the overt and the covert narcissist. Their goal is to draw attention to themselves. So in as much as the overt and covert narcissistic people are very different, their goal is the same. It's like listening to the same song, and with the overt narcissistic, you listen to that song on a high volume, but with the covert narcissistic person, you the volume is rather low. It's still the same song, just different, just different volumes. So that's what a narcissistic person is. And narcissistic people, although the overt and covert narcissistic, uh, although the covert and overt narcissistic people are quite different, they destroy people. Like, they are the type of people, like they're like hurricanes. You know, when a hurricane comes, it destroys everything and it ruins everything. Narcissistic people like to control every situation and every person that they are in. So when you're in a relationship or friendship, or you have a family member who is a narcissistic person, they guys, they destroy everything they touch. Remember, they want to always be the center of attention, so they feed on the misery of other people. let me give you an idea of what it feels like to be in a relationship with a narcissistic person. You're constantly, no, when the relationship starts, you're treated like a queen or a king. You're the most amazing human being, and they want to get to know you. And because they usually attack empaths, as an empath, when somebody comes in your life and they want to get to know you and they want you to tell them about themselves, you get overly excited. You become so open, because here's this person who wants to get to know you. Here's this person who cares so much about you, so you reveal everything, even the things that they don't ask, because you're thinking to yourself, it's very rare to find somebody who cares this much. So you reveal. That's the work of a narcissistic person. When they come to you, they come as this perfect human beings who just want to give you nothing but love. And then they do that. And just when, because they're so good at reading people's characters, they will know when you have given in. Because when you start talking to someone, you can't just give in. You're very reluctant to giving in. Even the information that you put out there is very limited. So they are very patient, and they're going to be so patient with you. You're going to reveal things to them. They're going to ask you questions about yourself, and you're thinking this person cares so much. But no, that's their modus operandi. A narcissistic person will get to know you, so that later in the relationship, when they show out their true colors, and you try and point out that, oh Jabu, you did this and I didn't like it. You said this and it hurt me. They take you back to the things that you said when you started dating. Maybe you have revealed that in a previous relationship this and that happened, and this is how you handled it. So they know that, oh, so this is how much this person can handle. This is how much abuse this person can handle. This is how much nonsense this person can handle, and this is how they deal with certain situations. So they read your character so much that by the time they are done, you're hopelessly in love, and it's so hard. It will be so hard for you to leave when they show their true colors. This is how they show their true colors. The first thing is they're going to start ill treating you. They start cheating, and then when they cheat, when you address that this thing that they're doing is hurting you, they're going to say to you, no, you pushed me to do this. And when you call them out on the lies that they tell you, they're going to tell you that they don't like your attitude. When they cheat and you address that, they're going to tell you that you're insecure, knowing very well that they do cheat. And when they realize that you are planning to leave them, what they do is they go back to being that wonderful person who they used to be. They treat you like, it's called love bombing. I'm sorry, it's called love bombing. So they do that. They're going to shower you with so much love, and you're thinking to yourself, this is the person that I fell in love with. This is the person that I started talking to. And you let your guard down again, and they're so loving. And once they're like that, you realize how wrong you were about them, and you go back to letting your guard down, and you're back with them again. And then just when you're back, they attack again. They constantly cheat. They're very selfish people who want to take control in everything and in every situation that they're in. And biggest their most favorite thing is gaslighting. When somebody says something and you say, babe, I don't like, babe, you just said this, and I didn't like it, it hurt me. Guys, they're going to be like, I didn't say that. You really need to stop overreacting. They say things like that. They say, no, but you like overreacting. Or if they don't say you like overreacting, they'll tell you that you overthink a lot, you're very insecure. Like every single thing that they do, they blame you for it. It gets to a point where you start thinking something is not right with you. Like you start doubting yourself. That's why it's called gaslighting. You doubt your mental stability when they do things against you. You start thinking perhaps you're the one that's wrong. And that's the work of a narcissistic person. They destroy. That's why I was saying they're like hurricanes. Wherever they go, guys, they destroy. That's why after they leave, you will understand why storms are named after people, because they hate you so much, and they don't even feel sorry. A narcissistic person never says sorry, unless that sorry is going to serve them in a way. So they only say sorry if they know that if they say it, it's going to somehow work in their favor. Other than that, they will never say sorry. You'll find yourself crying at night. You'll be next to this person and they won't even be moved. And the next day, they act like nothing happened. They cuddle. They are all lovey-dovey. They kiss, and you start thinking, was I crazy to think this person and I were fighting last night? Am I missing? You're constantly thinking you're the crazy one, and even when this person will be on the phone, cheating on you on the phone, maybe making calls or sending messages, and you can see that something is up, guys. I think you know when something is up in your you always know when something is up in your relationship. So when they do that, when they're so busy on their phone and you can see it, and you start suspecting that this person is cheating, when you address that, they'll go straight to their phone and show you, because they're so good at deleting evidence. When you look, and then you won't find anything, and they will say, I told you to stop being insecure, I don't like this. And there's gonna come a time in a narcissistic relationship where you, as the abused, you will get tired of it. Like you'll feel exhausted, because this person continuously blames you for things. This person continuously say you did something that they did. It's like it's going to drive you crazy to a point where you get exhausted. And then when you get that exhausted and you start standing up for yourself and you start speaking, they call you the abuser, because that's when you're going to say, I'm tired of this, I'm this, and then you start pointing out all the things that they've done, and then they tell you that I'm so tired of your abuse. You always abuse me, you're always insecure, you always accuse me of things that I did not do, knowing very well that they've been doing these things, and they are that person that's been abusing you. But now when you stand up for yourself, they're going to tell you that you're the abuser. It's called reactive abuse, when the abuser gets tired and they start standing up for themselves. And when they do that, the narcissistic is going to tell them that they are being the abuser. They are now the abuser, and they are now the abuser, and the narcissistic will tell you that you're abusing them, and then they will play victim. The most ironic thing is when a narcissistic person say they are an empath, because maybe you don't, I heard that you don't want to do what they ask of you to do, and then because that hurts them, they call themselves an empath, and you become the narcissistic. So being with a narcissistic person is very, it's very confusing. You're constantly going to question yourself, you're constantly going to question your sanity, and you're constantly going to find yourself crying, you're constantly going to find yourself hurt, and you will find yourself sending long messages explaining your pain to someone. Look, I personally don't think there are perfect people. Everyone has things about them that needs to be reflected on and maybe changed. I do believe that. But with a narcissistic, they never say I am wrong. They never say I need to reevaluate myself. With a narcissistic person, you're the one that constantly needs to you're the one that's constantly going to need the reevaluation, because with them, they're never going to say to you, babe, I was wrong, I did this, and please forgive me. And most people think that narcissistic people were born that way. Personally, I don't think narcissists are born. I think they are made. When you grow up in a family where your parents don't respect people who can't do anything for them, like say maybe you're in a restaurant and you see your mom or your father speaking to a waiter or a waitress in a demeaning way, or they speak to a helper or a cleaner in a way that doesn't say this person is human, you're looking at that. And remember that children don't take what they are told, they take what they see. So your child is going to be what they constantly see in you, what they constantly see you saying, what they constantly see you doing. That's how your child is going to be growing up. Another thing is when they achieve at something at school, and you applaud them and you're always so excited to see that. But when they need things that are emotionally uplifting, things like spending time with your child, things like watching TV together, like just doing parental things together. When you don't do that, they realize that, okay, so when I achieve, I am praised and I get undivided attention from my parents. But when I need that emotional connection with them, they they don't give it to me. So in that particular instance, they see that, and when they grow up, they end up being these people who overly exaggerate their successes, because remember, that's what was exaggerated when they were young. So I believe that usually, if it's either that, or if the parent themselves are very narcissistic, the children are very likely to become narcissistic people. But it's not every day that when the parent is narcissistic, then the child is also going to be like that. Usually narcissistic parents raise empaths. And guys, the people that usually attract narcissistic people, the empath, because you're such a good person, you're such a you're so kind, guys, and you will find yourself at a place where you will even wonder why you will even wonder what you did to deserve, what wrong thing you did to deserve that. You didn't do anything wrong. A narcissistic person will punish you for being a good person. You just get punished for being good. You don't deserve that, but they're just like that. It's how they operate. So if you're an empath, you're very like, especially an empath without boundaries. And it takes it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of pain for you to get to a place where you are an empath and you have boundaries. You are at a place where you know your values and you know what you can and cannot take. So when you find yourself at that place, it's very hard for you to be an empath that attracts narcissistic people. But when you're an empath that doesn't have boundaries, you're very likely to attract a narcissistic. Another group of people that attracts narcissistic people are the fixers, the rescuers, sorry. Those people who always want to step in a situation and make it better. A narcissistic will come with a very sad story, because they know, like, remember that in the beginning of a relationship, they try to get to know you, to understand the things that you can and cannot handle. So once they get to that point, they know that when they come to you, they have to come with a certain story, and they know how they're going to get to you through that story. They know how they are going to make you believe that you need to rescue them, because a narcissistic person is very smart. They're very wise when it comes to reading people's character. So they are going to come to you with that, and because you're the rescuer and you always want to rescue situations, you're going to find yourself stepping inside that whatever it is that they told you, and you suddenly want to fix it. And another group are the forgivers, people who are constantly forgiving. A narcissistic person sees forgiveness as permission. You know, a normal person, when you're in a relationship with a mentally normal person and they do you wrong, they're going to come to you and say, babe, I can see that what I did really hurt you, and I am willing to fix that. Please forgive me. I am truly sorry. And it ends there. And if you choose to forgive them, because you're a forgiver, a normal person will never do anything to hurt you like that again. But a narcissistic person sees forgiveness as permission for them to keep doing it again. That's why you will find, when you're in a narcissistic relationship, you'll find yourself, maybe this person cheated on you. So because you're this forgiving person, you forgive them. But for them, it's because they're not normal. For them, it's not forgiveness. For them, it's permission. So you're going to find yourself giving them more chances. They ask for a second chance, then you give that second chance, and they ask for a third chance. Then that third chance is always permission for them to come back and ask for the fourth chance and the fifth chance, and you find yourself giving more chances than you thought you would ever give anyone. And it's so hard to walk away from a narcissistic relationship, because remember, this person this person has already worked with you in the beginning. So whenever you want to leave, they're going to tell you that everyone cheats, and you might never find somebody who's going to love you the way I do. And they have worked with your mind so great that by the time they show you this by the time they show you their true colors, it's so hard for you to walk away. It's not as easy as it's not as easy as it would have been had they shown their true colors in the beginning of the relationship. So they show their true colors when they know that it's not going to be so easy for you to leave. And you're constantly going to second guess your truth. Whatever it is that you know about a narcissistic person, you're constantly going to be questioning yourself. You're constantly going to be thinking, perhaps I'm the wrong one. And because you are wired, they have brainwashed you to think you don't deserve better. They are going to make you believe that if you leave, nobody's ever gonna love you. So what if is ever going to love you? What if you just take that love and give it to yourself? Because I am also this idea that you're so amazing. Somebody is if they don't appreciate you, somebody is going to appreciate you. But when are you going to start appreciating you? When are you going to start giving yourself that love that you're constantly craving from this narcissistic partner? Guys, with a narcissistic person, it's very wise to see them for who they truly are than to see them for who your inner child wants them to be. We have this tendency to fall in love with potential and not the actual person. So if you want to walk away from a narcissistic person, you have to make sure that you start having boundaries. Start thinking about your values. Start thinking about what you can and cannot appreciate in a relationship. Just so you can avoid jumping into another narcissistic relationship, because it's very likely that when you leave a narcissistic partner and you don't work on yourself about that, you're going to find yourself falling for another narcissistic person, and then you jump into another relationship. It's another narcissistic relationship, and you're constantly finding yourself hurt, and you're constantly asking yourself questions. Guys, you can sleep next to a narcissistic person crying, and they won't even feel sorry. They won't even turn around and say, I can see your pain. I can see the pain that I am bringing in your life. I am willing to do everything in my power to stop doing this to you. A narcissistic person doesn't even get moved. They don't feel that. And guys, the one thing that usually happens in a narcissistic relationship, you're constantly going to ask yourself if you're good enough. Like, if somebody mistreats you, and if somebody can see, like when you're crying in front of a person and they can see just how deep the pain that they're causing is, then it's that person who's not good enough for you. It's not you who's not good enough for them. That person is not good enough for you. Imagine if all your life you've been looking for gold and then you find it. Do you think you'd still be going around looking to sift over stones? I don't think so. And that's what it should feel like when somebody is in a relationship with you. They should feel like they have struck gold. And when you personally believe that you've struck gold, it's not easy for you to risk losing it, because you know how rare it is to find. Loyalty is very rare these days. It's very rare. So when somebody finds you and you're so loyal to them, and you've done all that you can to make sure that the relationship works, and they still don't appreciate your effort, and they still don't appreciate that which you're doing for them, guys, in as much as it's hard, my advice for you would be to walk away. But I am saying this knowing very well that it's very hard to walk away from a narcissistic relationship. So I'm never going to say love yourself enough to walk away. If you really loved yourself, if you really respected yourself, you would have walked away a long time ago. That's what Twitter therapists would tell you. But guys, it's not that easy. No relationship is easy to walk away from. So imagine a relationship with a narcissistic person. So guys, if you want to walk away, make sure that you set boundaries and you stick to them. Make sure that you write down the reasons why you're leaving, so that when they come back, or when you feel tempted to contact them, You constantly remind yourself that you don't want to feel the way that you felt while you were still with this person. So constantly remind yourself that this is what they made me feel, and I don't want to feel that way anymore. So I'm going to walk away. Make sure that you constantly have a friend to talk to. I have this friend who we call each other all the time, whether we are going through things or not. So we make sure that whenever she's not okay, she comes to me and we talk on the phone. We can talk for hours on the phone until our batteries actually die, and we can talk. And I know that this is the person whom I can talk to, and they will never judge me. So find yourself someone who you can trust and open up to without the fear that this person is going to judge you, or without the fear that this person is going to tell you leave or do this or do that. Just make sure that you have someone in your life who can listen, because you're going to need that a lot. And another thing is, always tell yourself that it was never your fault. You're just someone with a good heart and best intentions, and a narcissistic person is the exact opposite of that. And there are usually people who will be in a narcissistic relationship and they have hope that the narcissist will change because of love bombing. When they start treating you well, you think this person has always been a great person, and I don't think they mean any harm. I don't think they mean this, they mean that. So you ask yourself if it's possible for a narcissistic person to change. Personally, there are therapists who think a narcissistic person will never change, but personally I do think that as long as we are human beings and as long as we are alive, I believe that change is possible for each and every one of us. However, in order for anyone and everyone to change, you have to be at a place where you acknowledge that something is wrong with you. If you can sit and say, something is definitely wrong, because there was this group session, therapy session that I was once in. This guy stood up and he said, I'm a narcissist and I need help. Sorry. And this person says, I'm a narcissistic and I need help. I'm tired of hurting people. I've had to let go of so many good women because of my narcissistic traits. Please help me. I really, really need help. I don't want to hurt people anymore. I want to heal. So if your narcissistic partner or your narcissistic friend or your narcissistic family member can find themselves at a place where they can say that, and it's not it doesn't usually happen with narcissistic people, because remember, in their eyes they are right, and in their eyes they are so perfect, they can never do wrong. So it's rather hard, but I do believe that it may be hard, but it's not impossible. So if you're in a narcissistic relationship and you're wondering if your partner will ever change, for me, the advice that I would give you is, if you want them to change, let them change on their own. Stop thinking that you have it in you to change anyone. People can be influenced by you to change, but you can never really change anyone. Think about how hard it is to change yourself. So imagine trying to change another human being. It's nearly impossible. So if you believe that this person has potential to change, don't be in love with their potential. Let them go and they can change on their own. And if somehow your paths cross again and they're a different person, maybe it will be a different story. But for now, for the sake of your inner peace and for the sake of your sanity, let them change on their own. The one thing that I can assure you is that if you choose to stay, just make sure that you're emotionally, your emotion, I don't want to say emotionally strong, because you can be emotionally strong and still be destroyed by a narcissistic person. But just make sure that they have this common word that they like using. When they say hurtful things to you and you get hurt, they tell you that you should stop taking everything so personally. That's the one advice that I think you should take from a narcissistic person. Stop taking it personally, because they mean it that way. They are going to constantly hurt you, and you need to stop taking it personally, because if you're going to continue taking things personally, they are constantly going to hurt you, and they're constantly going to tell you it's your fault. So if your relationship with a narcissistic partner is that important to you, and you're not ready to let them go, I don't think anyone is ever ready to let anyone go, but if you feel like you're not ready to let them go, and you feel like your relationship with them is that important to you, just make sure that you don't take anything they say personally, and whenever they say things or whenever they do things to hurt you, just tell them that this person, just tell yourself that this person is sick. And also remind yourself that it's not you, it's them. It's not your fault. It's this illness that they have that continues to make them treat you the way that they do. And if you're going to communicate with them and you tell them they've hurt you, try and do it in a manner that says, this thing hurts me, you know. Don't question their intentions and motives, because that's when you are attacking their insecurity. And the minute you do that, they're going to use their defense, which is gaslighting, and it's going to be your fault, and they're going to tell you how much of a bad person you are, how much of an abuser you are. So try, and whenever you tell them, try and make it look like it's you. um, you're the one that's hurting. This thing is hurting your feelings, right? Do it in a way that doesn't say to them that you're questioning their intentions, because in that way, that's what's going to make them think they're still in control of you. That's if you choose to stay. But if I were to tell you what to do, and if I was in the business of telling people what to do, my best advice for you would be to walk away, because you're going to drive yourself crazy. You can never really win with a narcissistic person. You tell them they hurt you, they tell you you push them. You tell them you're tired of being mistreated, they tell you you're overreacting, you're sensitive. You tell them you're tired of their lies, they tell you they don't like your attitude. So you can never win with a narcissistic person. Never. You can never win. They are always the right ones and you're always the wrong ones. They hurt you, you cry, and you have no reason to cry. It gets to a point where they're even used to you crying. That cry for you cry, it doesn't even move them. Like, it doesn't even mean anything to them, because remember, a narcissistic person feed on a person's misery. So when you are not happy, that's when they are at their happiest. Because when the reason you're not happy is when they are the reason you're not happy, it means that they still have control over you. And remember that the narcissistic constantly wants to exercise control over other human beings. So because of that, once you're unhappy because of them, they know that they have achieved their goal, and the attention will constantly be drawn to them. That is why you will see that other narcissistic people will ghost on you when they realize that they can't control you anymore. They want to control so much that when they can't do that anymore, they will ghost you and they will find another supply. And when they leave you, because for you your intentions were genuine, you will feel deeply hurt by them, but they won't be hurt. In fact, you will find that when they leave you today, the next day, if you're lucky enough to bump into them, you'll find them with another partner. Not because there was something wrong with you, but because they never cared about you. That's why they change that. They will even have future plans with you. They will plan everything just for you to be drawn into them, and then they suddenly change their minds. It's not that they changed their minds, they never saw a future with you in the beginning. So that's what a narcissistic person is like. Please, guys, protect yourself, protect your peace, protect your mental health. I love you so much. Thank you for watching this video. I'm sorry that my videos are so long. Thing is, the topics that I talk about require for the videos to be long. So I'm truly sorry. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, and never forget that I love you.